Hey, deep divers, ever just stop and really think about something? Well, profound, but totally normal. Like, how does that leaf outside your window, so intricate, or even, your own body, how does all that organized stuff exist? Especially in a universe that fundamentally seems to be drifting towards, well, chaos.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question.
Today we're getting into one of biology's really big puzzles. How life manages to build and keep all this incredible order. It seems to fly in the face of the universe's tendency towards disorder, right? That thing called entropy.
Exactly. And we've got some interesting scientific bits here, sources focusing on the conservation of energy that will help us unpack it.
So what's our mission today?
Our mission, basically, is to explore this apparent paradox. We'll look at the laws of thermodynamics, those fundamental rules, and see how living things, right down to the cellular level, actually navigate these laws. It's not about breaking the rules, but working with them.
Okay.
We'll connect the dots, energy, chemical bonds, and, surprisingly, the role of heat in all this.
I think by the end of this, you might have one of those aha moments. I definitely did. It could really change how you look at, well, everything alive, including yourself.
Let's dive in.
Okay, let's unpack this right away. Our sources jump right in, highlighting this core contrast. Biological structures are highly ordered. You just picture, I don't know, those diagrams you see of cells, or even just think about a tree, billions of chemical bonds holding it all together in specific ways.
Incredible organization.
But then the source draws this really sharp line. Non-living things do not have order organization, whereas living things maintain and generate order. That's the key, right? They actively build it.
That is the fundamental difference, yeah.
Yeah.
Living systems they're constantly working against that natural tendency towards messiness.
Right.
Our sources use the example of living tree. It embodies, and I'm quoting here, lots of organization and energy stored, especially if you contrast that with what it came from, or what it would become if it fully broke down just simple molecules like CO2 and H2O.
Like if it burned or just decomposed.
Exactly. Those end products, CO2 and H2O, are much lower in energy, much less organized. So the tree itself represents stored energy and stored order. It's not just structure, it's energy locked into that structure.
It makes me think of my kids' room. Keeping it tidy takes work, energy.
Yes.
But letting it get messy, that requires zero effort. It just happens. That's kind of like entropy, right? The universe leans towards the messy room state.
That's actually a pretty good analogy. It takes energy input to create and maintain order, whether it's a tidy room or a complex biological molecule. This order tends to increase all by itself.
So this brings us straight to entropy, disorder. The sources mention that products with lower energy are less organized than those with higher energy. So, okay, the tree is highly organized, high energy. What happens when that breaks down, like you said, burning or decomposing?
Right, so when that highly organized structure of the tree breaks down, our sources state very clearly that energy in the form of heat is released.
Okay, heat. We feel that when something burns, obviously.
Yes, but that heat isn't just a byproduct. It plays a crucial role in the bigger picture. According to the sources, this released heat increases random motion of the surrounding molecules. Think about it. Heat makes molecules jiggle around more randomly.
More random motion means more disorder.
Precisely. So disorder increases. And here's a key line from our sources. Reactions that are favorable always increase the entropy of the system. The universe favors reactions that increase overall disorder, overall randomness.
So the breakdown of the tree into simpler molecules and heat is favorable in the universe's terms because it increases overall messiness.
Exactly. It follows the second law of thermodynamics, the tendency towards greater entropy.
Okay. But then how does life do the opposite? If the universe wants disorder, how do living things build and maintain all this incredible, complex order? This is where it feels like magic, but obviously isn't.
It does feel counterintuitive, doesn't it? But this is where the energy input comes in. Our sources explain that chemical reactions extract energy from the environment, convert it, and store it in chemical bonds. Life is constantly harvesting energy from sunlight, from food.
Right, like photosynthesis or eating.
Yes. And it uses that energy to build complex molecules. Think about those simple, stable molecules we mentioned, CO2 and H2O. Our sources say these are the most energetically stable state for carbon and hydrogen when oxygen's around. They're low energy, kind of relaxed.
Okay.
But living organisms, using that harvested energy, can essentially break apart CO2 and H2O and rearrange the atoms, the CH and O, into free, high-energy, more unstable molecular forms.
Unstable? That sounds bad.
Unstable in a thermodynamic sense, meaning they contain more stored energy. like a tightly wound spring compared to a relaxed one. And then, the sources say, organisms use these high-energy building blocks to form more organized compounds that store energy in their bonds, like the complex sugars and proteins in that tree.
So life uses external energy to force atoms into these less stable but highly organized and energy-rich configurations. It's like pushing things uphill.
That's a perfect way to think about it. It's an uphill energetic process, creating order and storing energy locally within the organism's molecules.
It reminds me of building with Legos. You put energy in to connect the bricks in a specific, ordered way, fighting the natural tendency for them to just be a jumbled pile.
Exactly. You're creating a low entropy structure in the Lego castle using your own energy. Life does this constantly at the molecular level.
And all of this energy harvesting and building, it has to follow the basic rules, right? The laws of thermodynamics.
Absolutely. The sources emphasize this. Living organisms obey the laws of thermodynamics. There's no cheating the system.
So the first law we mentioned, energy is conserved. You can't create or destroy it, just change its form.
Correct. The total energy in the universe does not change. Life just transforms energy from one form, like sunlight or chemical energy in food, into another, like the energy stored in the chemical bonds of its own molecules, and eventually heat.
And the second law, that disorder, entropy, is always increasing in the universe. Life obeys that too, even while creating internal order.
Yes. And that is the crux of the paradox, or what seems like one. How can life build internal order if the universe as a whole must become more disordered?
This is the part that really clicked for me. How does it do it? How does a cell stay so organized when the universe is pulling towards chaos?
And the answer, according to our sources, is beautifully simple, yet profound. Biological order is made possible by the release of heat energy from cells.
Heat again. So the heat released isn't just a byproduct of breaking things down, it's also released when building things up.
It's intrinsically linked to the energy conversions happening constantly within the cell. Think of all the chemical reactions needed to build proteins, replicate DNA, maintain cell structures. These processes are energy intensive. And no energy conversion is perfectly efficient.
Right. Some energy is always lost, usually as heat.
Exactly. And the cell actively releases this heat into its surroundings. Now, our sources mention something interesting here. Cells are closed systems, which might sound confusing.
Yeah, I thought they exchanged stuff with the environment.
They do.
Yeah.
What closed system usually means in this context is that they largely contain their own matter. But critically, they are open systems when it comes to energy. They take energy in, and they release energy, specifically heat out.
Ah, okay, so they release heat. And we already established that heat increases randomness, increases disorder in the surroundings.
Precisely. The cell creates internal order, yes, but it does so by releasing heat, which increases the disorder outside the cell in its environment. So the total entropy, the entropy of the cell plus the entropy of its surroundings, still increases, satisfying the second law. The cell essentially pays for its internal order by exporting disorder to the universe in the form of heat.
So it's not defying the second law at all. It's
Right.
cleverly exploiting it. It makes a local pocket of order, but increases the overall messiness of the universe even more.
That's it. Exactly. It's a local decrease in entropy, increased order within the cell, achieved through processes that cause a larger increase in entropy, more disorder via heat in the environment. It's an energy trade-off that perfectly follows the laws of physics.
That is genuinely amazing. Life isn't breaking the rules. It's playing by them, but in this incredibly smart way. It pays its entropy debt with heat. Every single living cell is doing this constantly.
Every moment. It's the cost of maintaining that incredible biological organization.
So let's just recap this deep dive. We've seen this incredible balancing act that life pulls off. Living things take energy from the environment,
And brood it.
store it in complex chemical bonds, creating amazing structures.
Highly ordered structures.
And they maintain this order, all while playing strictly by the universe's rules. Energy is conserved, and overall entropy or disorder always increases.
Yeah, the key takeaways are really, first, energy just changes forms. It's never lost or gained overall. Second, the universe as a whole inevitably gets more disordered. And third, the crucial part for life-living systems create their internal order by essentially exporting disorder. They release heat, increasing the randomness of their surroundings.
It's this constant flow, isn't it? Building, breaking, using energy, releasing heat.
A continuous, dynamic process.
So here's something to think about. The next time you're looking at, I don't know, a forest or even just thinking about your own body working, remember that every single bit of that incredible order, that life, is locked in this constant struggle against universal chaos.
A quiet battle.
And it pays for its existence, its order, by constantly shedding heat, adding just a tiny bit more randomness to the universe. So what does it mean to you, knowing that your very own organized existence is actively contributing to the universe's ever-growing, you could say, beautiful mess?
Something to ponder, definitely.